and drove.
It's true. We were some crazy motherfuckers. That's in 7th grade too.
Dude,
7th, 8th grade.
Right?
Can
Like,
you imagine?
Dude, we did some
The
stuff.
fuck are we
man.
doing?
Or the shoes, man. Dude, actually, you were here last week, and I wanted to show you, man. I had the Air Up Tempos, the more up tempo shoes.
Oh, like the old school
The
ones.
Scottie Pippen ones, man.
Which
that
one?
we get. Oh, do you want me to pause to
The
get them?
green
No, they're the one that had air on the side.
Oh,
it
yeah,
literally
yeah,
had
yeah.
air.
Although they re-released those.
They re-released those. I remember when we got those, man. We all had to have them, man.
Anything with the air bubble in it.
or the my favorite is the Penny Hardways.
Oh, those are
dude, the 1 cent.
What pair did you have? You had the.
I had the original one, Penny Hardaways. I guess there's the second one.
Was that the one with the big Nike sign, right?
That was with the big Nike sign and the bubble.
I
and
always loved those.
Those were like
the faves.
And when they came out, it was like either that or the patent leather Jordans, I believe.
Oh shit, those are the ones where it was like $175, something like that for a shoe.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous at that time. Yeah, we're like,
no
what?
Nike symbol. You're like,
but then they dropped the foam posits, which were like a $200 shoe at that time, which is nothing now, right? All blue foam posits. I remember like, what are these?
I know.
That was 23 years ago.
But you know what's crazy? Those shoes are being rehashed today. Yeah.
Still hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like, that whole time of fashion and how things were done and the mixture of hip-hop and basketball, man.
Do you think that's like some weird-ass way that they pimped us, or that's just like something unique to us? Because I don't remember shoes ever having that type of value for this long, ever.
I mean...
Unless I'm tripping and I just don't know fashion, but...
I mean, other than the Chuck Taylors, you know,
but they don't go up in value like that. They're just kind of
no,
like
they don't.
looks.
I think they go up in value with normal inflation, but not in value like Jordan shoes. Yeah. Like a pair of Jordans what you can get or like $225 or something like that.
I used to be thirsty for shoes like that when that East Bay fucking dropped. It's like,
dude.
Yo, and then that Slam magazine dropped, and you're like,
yeah, you're looking at like when are these dropping, and we would like hit each other up like, yo, you see these? How are we gonna do? Like, first of all, thanks to our parents. Like,
I know. I feel bad for putting them through that shit.
Yeah, dude. I remember acting a fool the Christmas, I think it was 1996, the Christmas of the pennies coming out. They were sold out. And my mom said I couldn't get them. She couldn't get them. And I lost my shit, dude.
Like tantrum shit?
Tantrum. Because I was like, I can't even be out in the streets anymore. I can't even, you know what I'm saying?
I can't play basketball without them.
Do you understand? You understand? They need to know that I ball out.
The excuses we had to make to get shoes. It's like, yo, this is what I need, Pops. I remember like my first one, I think my dad bought me the Barclays. I think that was like my first one.
Yes.
And they were like almost $100. And I just remember telling my dad, like, Dad, this will make me play better. Like,
jump, PF flyers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Run faster, jump higher. The starter jacket, like, I don't understand, like, that time, man, like, it still gets me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the only other things that make me feel as happy is, like, Karate Kid. You know what I'm saying?
We're a big nostalgic
or
thing.
Back to the Future. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but is every generation like that, or is it just us? Because I would
think it's every generation.
Yeah.
You know, because like there's some kids who are like, oh, remember Power Rangers? I'm like, that shit was whack to me. You know what I'm saying?
See, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
But if you talked about Ninja Turtles or if we talked about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
See, so what is the more, what age range are we more nostalgic about?
I wonder. I don't know. Because first of all, I want to say that even though we're Gen X, we're in that weird position where millennial, sorry. We're in a weird position where we're a mixture of both.
I agree.
Because like, one, you have an older brother, right? And then so we took in some of the values of that.
Oh, I took all that shit.
And but then we still have certain things about
unique to our stuff.
You know, that, like we're at the beginning stages of the millennials. You know, we grew up on the internet, a lot of that stuff. So it's like, but what age? I don't know, because right now when you're talking about it, everything from like about 92
on
to about 98, 99, I was like just amazing. That like
truly 90s for real. Yeah,
because I mean, even when you talk about 92, right? You look at the Dream Team, and I remember vividly watching that Olympics. Yeah, and you're like
on TV as it's happening in real time.
What's going on? You know?
Yeah,
and that was after Magic Johnson had the HIV. Yeah. Like, I literally
Retired.
cried. Man, that was like one of the few times I ever cried.
That shit was
about
confusing because it's like, I don't know what that shit is.
Yeah, I didn't know what it
are you
was,
talking
but
about?
he was my hero, man. I was
Yeah.
like, dude. And then he had the HIV, and then he retired, but then came back to play the game. So that part is all foggy because it's like, what? It didn't make any sense. And he did play the All-Star game, Orlando Magic, right? Then, I remember Shaq coming in, like you're saying, this dude he could possibly be the first rookie since whoever to be the MVP.
Yeah.
That's how much he was balling.
I remember when he was in NBA Live 90 whatever.
Yeah.
Just his character, his player, it was like
Dude,
insane.
I remember us playing
we played
Live
that shit
95
all the
and
time.
then we was like, this is before Golden State even got big.
Oh yeah,
because you
I was
loved
big
Golden
about
State,
that.
yeah.
Love Golden State.
And we're like, we would play with Golden State, and I think it was Billy Owens or something like that was
Billy
on
Owens?
the team, and somebody else, and we're like,
Billy
it was like
Owens,
unknown, but I felt like that team was so dope that we were
so
playing.
on that video game because it was
Yeah.
Weber, Sprewell, Tim Hardaway, Mullen,
Yes.
Owens,
Yes.
Keith Jennings, Chris Gatling, like a bunch of talented people, and that was Don Nelson too, like young Don Nelson.
Yeah.
And then Chris Webber left, and Don Nelson fucked everything up.
And then Sprewell choked out his coach.
Yeah, Sprewell choked out the coach, and then created spinner wheels.
The spinner wheels, and now he's still broke.
Dubs were hot.
Dubs were hot.
Dubs were hot,
dude.
and then they're coming back apparently.
Oh snap! Even when you talk about Chris Webber, the Chris Webber shoes,
Oh,
man,
those
the
are so
Nike
good.
shoes,
Those are
dude.
so dope. That was the
Which
first time you saw an air bubble in the front part of the shoe.
Exactly. They opened it up for us to see it, and then they did the his logo was CW, and it looked like a basket, which was like
it was dope,
man.
yeah.
That was so dope, man.
The commercial was dope because it was that in the barbershop, and they were talking about him dunking on Barkley.
Oh wait, he's too high. He's too high. Then what did Barkley say to you? I don't believe in role models, but you're mine. I remember that so well, dude.
That was a dope commercial.
That was such a man. Like
people sleeping on Chris Webber like that.
Dude, he was. It's actually funny because I want to think about this with you too. Like, I know I loved basketball, but you were like at that time the basketball historian.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I would go to you to understand the deep stuff, the stat,
what school they went to when they were
or
drafted,
like the mixture of hip hop and basketball. You know,
Yeah.
Because back then I was just MC Hammer in basketball, but yours like, nah, dog. Let me tell you about this dude named Nas. Hey, yo, he's gonna take it back to Africa, like on Belly. Like, did you ever watch Belly?
Hell yeah!
Like that's all he said in the movie.
That's
like,
all.
He's
That's
like,
all you need.
Hey yo, man. Like, hey, you got any milk for the cereal? Hey yo, we're gonna take it back to Africa. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's all he ever said, man.
Yo, watch Belly. The Belly is a fucking
Belly
lovely.
Belly was so terrible, but I loved it, man.
The opening scene is the best scene ever.
Yeah.
And then when
Man.
DMX was getting head in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that lady was up here. Like,
Yeah, he's like trying to overdo it. Yeah. What the hell? And he's like, hey, yo.
It was it was like a long ass music video. That's what it was.
That's
Keep it real.
exactly what it was,
Hype
man.
Williams directed a movie.
Yeah, he directed a music video movie, dude.
That shit was
About
like a
going back to
long-ass-
Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude. And then the dude eating the banana. I don't like that.
Hey, that shit was hard. I thought that was Andre 2000 shit right there. I was like, I like that
Yeah.
with the straight
The
hair.
straight hair, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
dude.
that shit.
Man, that's
Yeah,
great.
hip hop and basketball was life in the 90s.
It was so much life, man.
I mean, I think looking back at it now, like I watch a lot of those, oh, you got that? Who's
Yeah,
that?
I got that. Yeah.
Everything
It
good?
was good. No, I'm just gonna have to hang up on this person real quick.
Oh.
But yeah.
No, but yeah, I was thinking about like what's it called hip hop in the 90s, and looking back at it, I was like, that was fucking like iconic shit that was happening like in the world at that time,
Dude,
both music and basketball.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like, a lot of that is just life now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just so iconic then, and we thought nothing about it. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, it was, man, those are good times, dude. Those are good times.
I mean, looking
Biggie-
back at it, I
Biggie,
did
like-
cherish those. Yeah.
Like, the Biggie and Tupac beef. Like, how serious was that?
What era was that? Was that middle
That was
school?
95, 96. That was or 96, 97. I was in middle school because I remember he had died when we were going back to school, and we're like, what?
What, Tupac?
No, Biggie.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Biggie had died that September before, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
the
then-
year
and then
before.
Biggie had
the
died
next year.
like February or March. Or
Yeah,
something
the
like
next
that.
year. Yeah.
But I just remember it was like, it was a big deal, you know. And at first, I was more of a Biggie fan. I was usually
Still
more
am.
East Coast, but then when I heard "Hit 'Em Up" by Tupac, that changed my mind about how
Ambitions
Tupac,
of a Writer for me.
dude. When Tupac did "Hit 'Em Up," I was just like,
I still fuck with Biggie though.
no.
I mean,
Biggie's.
I go to bat for Biggie. I don't know what it was. Even though I like certain Tupac songs, I was always a Biggie.
I think you was always more of an East Coast dude anyway.
I think it just was introduced to me. But then I'm a big like Hieroglyphics fan.
true.
Very big Hyro, very big Far Side.
I was
Wasn't big with like the LA hip hop, like or the gangster rap.
See, well, it depends
unquote.
because I also think about like Exhibit before he became you know that Exhibit like Exhibit
Paparazzi.
or Rascas for a while.
Rascas was very underrated. Yeah.
Was underrated at the time. The Alcoholics,
Yeah, the
you
Licks.
know, the Licks, they were
Beatnuts.
really dope. Was it Beatnuts? I was thinking of Black Eyed Peas too.
Black Eyed Peas before Fergie.
So it's like a lot of that. before Fergie, right?
Before that bitch
Which
pissed in her pants.
Yeah, she done that multiple times, man. The show must go on. But it's so weird because I remember when they added her, I lost a lot of respect for Black Eyed Peas.
But why we gotta be like that?
You know, it was at
Because
the time.
that's the same thing I thought too. I was like,
it was,
they're trying to make that money.
it was at the time, but because what it was they weren't being congruent with their word. They're like, they're not gonna go pop, and then they went pop,
like super pop too.
like super pop.
they
You
didn't
got
go
a white
like
girl,
little pop.
and then
They went like all the way pop.
You got a white girl, and then
Where is the love?
then you got Justin Timberlake. Like you cannot get more pop than that at that time. So when they did that, I was just like, and then after a while, it just their music didn't really resonate with me the same way. Maybe it was just because I cut them off for that.
So maybe
Or
this,
maybe
maybe
I just-
is
I
hip hop
just-
always supposed to be like the voice of the youth?
I think so.
Yeah, right.
I think so.
Because when I listen to hip hop now, I'm like, I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense to me because
But then it speaks for
and then like kids are like,
That shit's hard, though.
That's hard. Beats are hard. I think
Yeah.
producing has.
But what they're saying is something foreign to us.
Yeah, what they're saying, I have no clue what they're saying. You
Yeah.
know, like I really don't know what they're saying. And then it makes me realize why I think most of these kids are kind of weird, like with the tattoos on their face and the multicolored hair. I'm like,
True.
oh, yo, you know.
But I mean, if you
mental
listen to
illness
music in the 90s,
mental
it seemed
illness
as
is
crazy.
real.
But okay,
Well, I mean,
let's do side by side.
No,
That's
but
what
no,
it's like.
no, I understand because it's like I
Yeah.
say that, but then when I look back, it's like, yo, mental illness is real. We had ODB. You know what I'm saying? I got
Two Life
burnt
Crew.
by gonorrhea.
Got
You know
burned
what I'm
by
saying?
gonorrhea twice. If you
So-
didn't understand what people say now, then ODB be like, oh,
Or Busta Rhymes.
Oh,
Now, but
yeah.
Busta Rhymes was like, I don't know, he was weird but dope at that time too. For, you know, like
exactly, just as
And
how
so-
artists are now.
I don't think. But I understand it's just different because I don't understand it. I don't think they're dope, but it is what it is. I
Yeah,
think
dope in their own right. I don't
they're-
get it,
yeah.
but they're doing something
Yeah,
for the youth.
but that's when I realized I was like, I'm getting old because when you look at it, you're like, I have no clue what they're saying, you know,
Yeah.
and literally it's like and I yeah,
And songs are like 2 minutes long.
boogie,
Yeah, songs are like 2 minutes long. bro.
right,
And you
it's
don't
like-
have to have a full album.
You don't. It's all about like the single and the beat, and you know that's what it is. I mean, I think we said this last time, but we're meant to evolve and change. I mean, to me, it feels like we devolved, or I don't know. We didn't evolve with the music, but it is what it is. It changes over time. This is what
I
it
think
is
the
right now.
idea that hip hop music is pop music now is weird because think about it. When we were listening to hip hop when we were younger, it's not like some shit that you would hear on the radio necessarily. I think as we were growing up is when you started to see the popularity of hip hop rise.
Yeah. Well, even like I think because you say you were into LA rap or gangsta rap, I was huge into
Oh yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah. See. Yeah.
The first album, man,
Mhm.
is a classic.
Iconic to you. Yeah.
It's iconic, man. And even when I listen to it now, it gives me like this goosebumps, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what it was, you know. Even when you look at, I was watching Straight Outta Compton.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that movie?
I did. Yeah.
And like that movie gave me goosebumps because it made you feel a certain way. Even though I think the guy who acted as Dr. Dre was not that good.
Oh, you don't like him?
No, I liked Ice Cube's son, which
looks like Ice Cube.
And then you start to realize, like, damn, Ice Cube was a genius back then. At coming out of high school, right? For all those guys, you already know that.
Yeah.
Ice Cube's son did a good job. The guy that played Eazy-E did a good job too.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, you're like, wow. Like you think about like how big that group NWA is to rap music.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Dre, Billionaire, Eminem, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, right? Aftermath, all that stuff. And then you look at Ice Cube, not just from Ice Cube the music, but making Friday. You know what I'm saying? To where he's at. I mean,
he made his own lane. So it's almost like when you look at NWA sometimes it's like, was it short lived?
It was short lived in the sense of but
they had an album
as a group,
and that's all you needed.
Yeah, but they were so big as an overall group.
So that was like the Guns N' Roses of hip hop and shit. Like one album and then that's it.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Well, wait, how many did Nirvana have though?
Nirvana had I think 2 or 3.
2, okay,
I think so.
That was another amazing group too.
Yeah,
but when you look at NWA too, it's like not only just that, but Eazy-E, and I bring up Eazy-E because Bone Thugs and Harmony. Bone Thugs from
that shit was hella popular for fucking
Bone Thugs and Harmony from about 93 to 98 or so was just it is funny because I go back and I listen to their stuff and for me it didn't age well.
Oh no.
That
was really 8th grade for sure. I remember like Junior and Noah and
that was 7th grade I believe.
What you gonna do if you know it? It was like harmonizing and rapping. It was like some weird like rapping fast before rapping fast.
But even the name itself is kind of funny to me. Like people would think I smoke weed by what I laugh at, but I don't. But it's like, hey yo, what's our group name? Hey yo, we Bone Thugs in Harmony.
Hey man,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
In Harmony, but it was hot though, right?
It was hot.
It was hot, man. But
they really like dominated.
They dominated for a very long time.
They were from Ohio,
but they were found by Eazy-E. But like for me, if there's one, like everybody can talk about certain songs for Bone Thugs, the one that always sticks out to me is Bone and Biggie Smalls.
Oh yeah, Bone and Biggie.
And then when Biggie comes off on it, dude, like I spent hours trying to like
decipher
get those words down.
That's before you had to like. You could look up lyrics now on the internet. Back then, you had to find the CD with the inlay.
Or if they didn't have it, you had to figure out what they were saying.
And write it down, compare notes.
All dangerous. Hey, too many to get back with us.
Because you just want to be rapping it correctly.
Exactly, And I still say things wrong,
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, it speaks to Eazy's legacy. I mean, when you look at the idea of what NWA was, it was like the 4 horsemen of rapping at the time for West Coast rap, where they're trying to get the best dudes on one squad to record an album. It's just after that album, when you watch the movie, it is interesting when Ice Cube's take was like, I ain't getting paid. I'm the one doing this. I'm about my business. And then he did his thing. And then,
make it Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even though, like, I think
the opportunity knocks. You can't make money as a group in that industry, apparently. So you have to kind of look out for yourself.
At that time, people were just screwing people over, which they still do now.
Exactly. It never changed.
Yeah. But I was going to say,
Wu-Tang's still like that. They're like, yo, we ain't never going to get, no, that motherfucker, fuck that motherfucker. I was like, but they still a family. It's just, it's hard to have a bunch of dudes together.
Let me be honest with you, man. I could never get into Wu-Tang as a group, as a collective group.
Yeah.
I liked them more of individuals than a collective group because I felt like it was just it was just so many different ideas coming together that did not make any sense.
It was an energy more than anything to me. Like I don't know why I gravitated towards it. Probably just because my brother had it. But I mean,
check out my gravel pit.
It's just something that just wasn't happening at music at the time, like the mystery of chess boxing, and I was into like martial arts and kung fu and shit like that. So
that's true.
When they had that shit, I was like, "Yo, it was a certain energy." I didn't know the lyrics, I didn't understand anything. And like cocaine straight from, I didn't know what cocaine was. I didn't know Bolivia was. I was like, it's some shit you just bob to. And then as you get older, and as I become more fans of them, certain songs start to stick out and. I wasn't a fan of every single one per se, but now the idea and the concept behind it and what they were trying to do and what they did in the music game was very transcending, which is cool because they're like, it's individual rappers that are signed individually and then we're signed under one group together, and we're going to take over the scene in a financial way, which is kind of cool looking at it. But like any group, they always have their disagreements and
So like for me, when you say that, like I think of Living Legends was dope too, but like you said, Hieroglyphics. The Hieroglyphics to me was better.
Love Hyro
than Wu for me.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense
because I understand what they were saying, and it was still a hip hop, but it was like
it was a West Coast sound.
And I still remember my freshman year in San Bernardino, and I didn't like ignorant. You start to look at things, and you're like, oh, you don't know, just ignorance. But I remember the guy had the CD, and it was Del the Funky Homo Sapien, and I was laughing like, who the hell calls himself Del the Funky Homo Sapien, right? Yeah. Then when I get into Hyro and I started looking at Hyro, I was like, oh snap, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, blah blah blah. Which I believe he's also Ice Cube's cousin.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Ice Cube's
cousin. Another NWA, but
that's true. That is true because he's the one that put him up on game. Like, when you hear the interviews, he says, like, "Yo, Ice Cube put me on."
So it was like, but even then, it was like you're sitting there and like you didn't know about the person, but then you see like Hyro overall was just a better fit for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like I loved both. I think with what Wu-Tang gave me was some raw energy, but it was coming from a world that I've always been enamored with as a kid because hip hop to me was introduced to me through like Beat Street and like. It was always an East Coast thing, the way hip hop was introduced. Yeah. But now, when you get a hold of, like, say, West Coast anything, because I remember watching breakdancing videos with like Ice-T in them, and they was from L.A. and they was doing a different style.
They was doing more like pop lock.
Well,
right?
Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah,
more L.A. was more like pop lock in opposed to
it was a little more progressive.
Right?
Yeah, it wasn't as traditional. It was a lot more power moves, a lot more locking and popping. It was dope.
That's right. Because I always remember you were into breakdancing.
Fuck yeah! So that's why I've always.
You would never show me how to breakdance, and
I was trying to learn myself.
I was trying to ask. I was like, "Where are you learning this stuff? Like, where can I?"
Just watching movies, man. But that's what my affinity for East Coast anything was, and still to this day I have that. But then. With West Coast rap, that's why Hieroglyphics to me, I love the flow, I love the sound. Even though I wasn't a super fan of like Dre I love the Chronic. I think the Chronic album was great. Chronic 2 was more iconic for me personally.
Yeah,
but those are all great songs.
That's like our high school year, where we're coming our own.
Oh fuck yeah! But it was a good. His soundtrack.
That was so dope.
Next episode, I was like, yo, this I now respect. I not saying respect it, but I become a bigger fan at that time, and I'm still a fan. But like Hyro, those little weird like things, those are like deeper. Some dudes that are just trying to find some shit on a deeper level. Yeah, like when you listen to Hyro or listen to Del, like any of his interviews or what he is, it's like, yo, man, I'm just trying to equip these youths with like the tools to like rule the world and shit. I was like, dude, that's tight.
Do you remember us going to the show? In Sac State, and he was just like literally like tweaking out
Faded.
on the side,
yes,
like right down.
Yes, I'm glad you remember that. Yeah.
But also when you're bringing that up too, like I wanted to say, how old is your brother, or when was your brother born?
I think in somewhere in the 70s. Maybe he's like almost 40. I think 40 now.
Okay,
a little older. Yeah,
because like. I know your brother and my brother are not the same age because they would have known each other.
Your brother's just a couple years younger.
Yeah. But the reason I say this is because I think your brother is like the same age as my cousins, which is like my cousins were born in 1977.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And so the reason I bring them up is because, like, to me, they were somewhat of an older brother to me, and they're twins, but they were fraternal twins, so they're not identical. But yeah. I always remember, like, when I would go over to their house, when I go to SoCal, and they would have, like DJ Quick or something like that. And you're sitting there like, what? A day in a life when I'm playing in Crip. I was like, what is this stuff? And they would put me on this music or, I can't even think, like, A Tribe Called Quest or other people. And so it was like, to me, I was like, they were always cool. And I'll look at them, and they were the pioneers of growing up with what hip hop was, with the overalls with the one strap on, or with the the painted pants or whatever, or the Bart Simpson shirts, the black Bart Simpson shirts with the with their stuff on backwards. So when I think of hip hop, I think of them, because that's how I got a lot of my stuff,
A lot of influence.
A lot of the influence.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even like Will Smith, when I think about Will Smith, it's like this dude was a rapper and now he's like a mogul of art, of a actor from hip hop. You know, and one of his best songs is Still Summertime.
To this day,
you know,
yeah.
I know everybody wants to get jiggy with it, but Summertime was the one where like
Summertime, you
that
still slap
makes
on a
you
day.
feel a certain way, and that was Will Smith.
He captured that shit at a young age. Like he was a teenager and figured out a way to make music that resonates with like a whole generation somehow.
And
that's crazy.
And maybe I would say he embodies hip hop right now of how it evolved. You know, because also Method Man now he does like rock the mic. And now he's a little bit different. Well, you have to though. You have to. You grow older.
You're never supposed to stay that way.
But it's just all these people that started off with hip hop or rap or whatever, and then now you see them doing things
older. Well, we're seeing it now. It's like, will we ever see the day when we could go watch, like, you know how people still watch like AC/DC and they're like in their 60s, 70s, like Kiss. Kiss is in their like 70s. Yeah. Like, is hip hop gonna be able to ever get there where we're watching? Like, and I don't know who that would be because it's hard for me to watch anybody.
The only person I could think that could do that is really Jay-Z.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
That's the only person.
Well, he's the only one doing it so far at that capacity.
Well, because like I think he's went through all the different stages and changed subtly but not drastically.
Stay relevant.
You know, opposed to like some may say Eminem, but like I can't listen to Eminem now. It just doesn't feel
like. Do we listen to them at like age 60, and are we listening to them as classics?
I don't think we're listening to certain things of them as classics. You know, certain songs.
Because that's what I'm more fascinated by is like what would be the things that we would be putting on.
I think Snoop Dogg will put on.
Which one? What song?
The first, or his first album. You know, Gin and Juice or whatever. I think that first album would be a classic, or we're older. Like this is what we knew in like more of that would be a hip hop historian CD where you're like this is embodies gangster rap, this and Tupac, you know, and then this and then Biggie embodies this, and then you can also talk about Outkast, which was
iconic,
which and also I want to go back to Jay-Z, but Outkast, because at that time we were like it was either East or West, and then South was kind of there. We didn't pay attention.
That Source Awards, they was like brand new artists. I was like, yo, they the truth.
But at the same time, remember too, we forget Scarface has been around for a while,
right?
Right. And so these were South rappers that were like they weren't necessarily. When I think of them, I don't think of the South like it is now. Yeah. You know, but if there was a rapper or two groups. And this is going to go to Jay-Z for this one. UGK and Bumby, Big Pimpin' was to me the beginning stages of us really paying attention to South. Yeah. You know, South rap. Obviously, I'll also say, what is it, Lil Wayne, Cash Money, right?
Yeah. Master P.
But for me, I feel like one of the ones that really, really rocked it mainstream-wise would probably be Ludacris.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I hella forget about Ludacris too.
Throw them bows over
Southern Hospitality, Southern Fried Chicken,
and then you start to go back and you listen. First of all, Ludacris can flow. Yeah, but dude, like if you hear him freestyle, he's dope.
Oh yeah, he kills. He kills it. Yeah.
But
he just doesn't get due. I think he was just at a weird era for hip hop. I think it was just at its height.
Well, yeah, because he was also in a part of more of the shiny suit part where it was like where you had like the end of Mace and Puffy, but then you still had why to just go blank Nelly type of stuff.
Yeah, Nelly moved into that top spot.
Yeah, Fabulous. You know,
I mean that was a good era for music too. That's truly like 2000s era.
Yeah, that's like the really beginning, like Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Like triple XL T-shirts.
Yeah, everybody wearing garbage bags and shit.
Pink clothes just because they wanted to be different, like Cameron.
The Ice era.
The Iced Out where R. Kelly was okay, but everybody didn't want to pay attention.
So 2000s is truly like our formative era.
Like I wonder 2000s. Because I feel more connected with the
90s
and late 1990s. Like,
oh yeah, that's where I identify
too. Like even Exhibit to you know.
That's like childhood for me, and then 2000s is like I don't want to revisit that area, but it's funny to see.
Yeah, because that's when we were like okay, you're adults, but I also feel like this was like I feel like some of the kids now are cooler than us because when our adult age of the music that came out, I was like,
but I think kid's gonna say that.
It just felt like Nappy Roots. I was like, I went back and tried to listen to Nappy Roots. It was like.
Yeah, but everybody was about it.
I wasn't feeling it. Like but then at the same time, Stankonia by Outkast was freaking dope.
Exactly.
Bombs Over Baghdad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Stankonia was nice. All their albums were good.
dude, all their albums, like, you know,
Andre 3000 is like one of my favorite artists.
the weirdest dude, but you love him, man. It's
Yeah.
like you just that group together.
I think you just never heard hip hop like that, interpreted that way. To me, I was like, the Southern sound was so ill, and then when it moved from like the South and started going more into Texas, like I was a big fan of like even like Paul Wall and Jim Jones and shit, and like Dipset, Dipset kinda. I mean, even Dipset's East Coast, but Paul Wall, UGK, Bumby, all those like West,
Bumby,
big Texas, like
Bumby is nasty.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But when I was in the Navy, I was never really into Paul Wall, but
I mean, Paul Wall didn't rap a lot, but it was just that whole era.
But Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. There
right,
you go.
Mike Jones.
Yeah,
but I knew about Mike Jones because this guy, what I was in the Navy with, was from Houston. And he would do chopped and screwed stuff before he even got big. And he was playing Mike Jones way before anybody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of could rock with it.
There was something with it.
The chopped and screwed, though, it would give me a headache because I don't know why.
What the fuck's going on?
I was like,
yo, this tape is dead. My batteries are dying in my Walkman.
I was like, I have no clue. Like it did give me a headache a couple times.
It was some Houston shit,
but I can mess
or
with
some
like
Texas shit.
Yeah, I can mess with Mike Jones at the time and all that stuff. So I was like, that's kind of dope.
Yeah.
So when he did blow up and he had his song, I was like happy for him and whatnot. But like you said, we tend to forget about Scarface from Houston. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah,
dude, fuck faces.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know. Yeah, that's why I was like, yo, it's like we got to the era we got introduced to it, and then we saw it grow. It's just I think we just had a big influx of a lot of different music when we were growing up because we had not only the Source was producing like a subculture, but then MTV, BET, like BET was thriving and MTV was thriving, like Yo MTV Rap, like. The way hip hop was growing as we were growing up, like we grew up with it, which is kind of cool to
like
see.
Yo MTV Raps used to be like about an hour, maybe an hour and a half max on MTV.
Yeah,
where it was what it was at that time. I used to think it was like racist or whatever.
Well, of course,
but at that time it was like, okay, we'll give you this hour and a half, and then the rest of the shows were just all rock, whatever.
Well, yeah,
and
at the time,
we're sitting there like, damn, I just want to hear that new
put on that new shit.
But I also think. Let's just be real. I think it's also because of Eminem, though. Like, thank God for Eminem.
I mean, in that era,
in rap, you know what I'm saying?
I think that helped it.
That helped
to get
a lot,
to that platform for sure.
But dude, like Eminem helped it grow more as well for MTV.
Yeah.
And other stuff like that. And so it's just. Man, you give me goosebumps right now when I'm talking about this.
TRL, man.
Like,
Carson Daly, bro.
Dude,
that was the thing. That was the only thing specific to us.
We had to request it, and it was like, well, a lot of people were loving this hip hop,
TRL coming back
and
at you.
Britney Spears, because what was it? It was a Black Eyed Peas song, "Never Falling Up, Falling Down" or whatever. What was it? It was one of the
original ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those songs. I was like, ooh, I love Black Eyed Peas, man.
And then Fergie, and then ruined it. But I mean, not ruined it.
No,
it's good for them.
It different. It just made it different.
They made
like
buku dollars. They made hella money.
Became a
super
mogul.
producer. Yeah,
yeah. He became a mogul.
As an older person, I understand.
I think
how that all went down.
I ran into. I don't think it was Apple the app, but it was the other
motherfucker.
The light skinned one that we all keep forgetting who it is.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I seen him at Comic-Con because it was like it was when he cut his hair off finally. And
oh shit! For the first time.
And I was like, oh snap! I didn't know he goes there. But they're like hip hop nerds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they're still iconic. I think we just have to give them their due. It's just, I think funny just growing up with hip hop music and it becoming slowly popular. Because like you said, like you would only see an hour of it on TV, or you wouldn't see it used in commercials. How it is now.
Now, if you go on a YouTube channel, almost every YouTube person is having some form of hip hop beat on their thing.
Oh yeah, hip hop is the flavor today.
That is like that is the thing. Like even though country is the largest, music but I think hip hop is like the most influential.
It's pop culture.
Yeah, it's literally
now
pop culture. Yeah, it's
yeah.
not even hip hop anymore. It is pop pretty much.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's like Will Smith. You know, you graduated to making big money in a different market. You know, you know, not everything. Just because you're making money doesn't mean you lost respect or you're sold out.
I think that's the thing I learned as I got older. Because at first it's like, oh, I want you to stay like this, and I want you to have the sound. But then when you realize, you're like, these dudes make an album at like 19, and they make another album at like mid 20s. I mean, if you base that off of how we grow, I'm like, yeah, of course that shit would be different. And of course you don't want to be doing the same shit you're doing at 19 when you're doing it at 25. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking, like, when you rap and you continue to rap, what are you gonna rap about when you're like 50? Yeah, it's like, yo, about IRAs and 401ks.
Well, I mean, Jay-Z did do that, right?
Exactly.
But it was weird because, like, I remember my other friend, he had talked about how, like, the newer Jay-Z album was, like, it really touched to him because it was about relationship and all that. And I was like, you know, fair enough, it's Jay-Z. But I was like, dude, people like Common's been talking about that for years, right? Yeah. But it's because it's also namesake sometimes. You ever seen the situations where
sometimes you just want to rock with the artist you rock with?
Yeah, we're like, you know, you could have done something, but because of the namesake of Ryan, you're not as cool as, say, Marcus or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's all namesake.
Sudden, like, it is namesake. It's all somehow, some people are attached to a certain popularity that people are attracted to, you know? But even when you talk about hip hop, I think like Kanye, like, he's one of the main reasons why I wanted to be a producer. Yeah. You know, him and Jay Dilla, but when you go back, I didn't realize all the stuff that Jay Dilla did. But
what is it about Kanye that you like admire from a production standpoint? Because I don't understand music like that, or I'd never dabbled in it in the way that you.
Well, it was I don't know what it was so much about Kanye, but what happened was I didn't like Kanye when he first came out.
Really? You didn't like
Right through the Wire song? I thought it was whack, right?
Really?
But then when I started to look into him, and I was listening to some stuff, and I listened to Jesus Walk, it was actually Alex
T-Dow
that put me on to the album.
Shouts out T-Dow.
And so I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then I looked up Kanye West, and I started looking at all the stuff he made.
Worked on before.
And I was like, these are all the songs that I love just to get by, you know. It was one of my favorite. He rocked with Talib Kweli a lot, you know. Just to get by. Like, you got that feeling like you were going to church. You want to have one single tear come out of your eye. His
sample game is like on
that
flames.
Him and Just Blaze, right?
Yeah.
And so you go back or you do the A to the Izzo, A to the Izzo, you know, which you did with Jay-Z. And so I started looking at all the stuff he did, and I was like, dude, this dude is like, I've been loving all his stuff. And then I started digging even deeper. I was like, this is my dude, right? Like, we're both about 5'8", 5'9", crazy, you know. I mean, he's a little bit more crazier than I am, but
I mean, is he crazy though? To be honest, to be
maybe
that great, you probably have to have a little.
No,
crazy.
I think you have to be to be innovative. You have to push the boundaries. You have to think.
I mean, how do you even make people like your music, or how do you even make music that people would like? That doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, it's just because
it's a vibe.
I mean, like for me, like when I make a beat, it's like I'm really just recreating something I like, right? Yeah. But even though they're doing the same thing, sometimes they're creating something newer out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's always an experiment, regardless.
So like you have to push the line to innovate because you have to think a little bit differently than other people. Because if you thought like everybody else, then everything would be the same. Yeah. You know, so sometimes there is a beauty to the strangeness, you know.
Oh, of course. It's just that's also the scary part about like it's strange and it's scary, but you have to go out you have to take a leap because you might be like, yo, this is my shit, and they be like, that's just trash, and you're like, I still think it's good.
Yeah.
And you're like, you have to looking back, you're like, that wasn't good.
Well, yeah, because I'll go back to some of my stuff, and actually, when I go back to some of the beats I made, I'll be like, you know what? I was a lot better than I thought I was. Yeah. And then sometimes there's stuff that was fucking weird, but I'm like, I think I was onto something. Yeah. You know?
It was an early preliminary stage of doing something, yeah.
But then at the same time, you do have to have that confidence because, unfortunately, I lacked a lot of confidence, and I should have confidence. But at that time, it was a very personal thing for me to do was to make beats.
Fuck yeah,
probably like personal. How you felt with dancing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like an expression of yourself. Truly,
you loved it to a point where it's who you are, but you didn't want to show it.
No, fuck no, because you're very self-conscious of it. It's your shit.
Yeah, it's a. I know last week we were talking about relationships, but you ever see how sometimes when you really really love something, you tend to like smuggle it or struggle it or like
sabotage the whole idea.
Yeah, it's like some people.
I can't even have something like that because I was like, sabotage.
Well, because like sometimes people like say you love somebody so much, but you like smother them too much
to ruin it, shit.
And then it ruins it because it's either the insecurity that you have in yourself because you love it too much.
Yeah,
you know that you don't want it to let it go
push it too far
or whatever.
You hold on to it too tight.
Yeah, and I think that that can happen with art.
Oh, for sure.
Like
it's a constant struggle.
That you love it so much, and it's such a part of you.
Beautiful struggle is what they call it.
Right? Yeah. And then
you can never be fully happy. I think that's the whole name of the game. It's just it's fleeting because you never know. You can never be in the moment of enjoying it. It's you enjoy it at the end of it or in reflection, but it's never at the moment because it's so much going on. You're just like, I'm just trying, and I keep my head down, and I'm just I'm searching for it, and the whole time you've had it.
Yeah, exactly. The whole time you've had it,
yeah,
right. And then like for me with music, I got depressed and I let it go, right. But sometimes a good thing about that emotion is that it brings out the best of the art. Like whatever you're going through, put it out there.
But that's the hardest part is because how comfortable you feel putting it out there.
Exactly, because you become vulnerable.
And that's why you don't want to let people listen to it because this is kind of like personal to me.
I mean, because say, I've seen where actors I think I was reading or seeing somewhere, I don't know how true it is, so look it up. But I was looking up, I heard how Michael B. Jordan, after playing the Killmonger part in Black Panther, he said he had to take some time away.
Got too immersed in it.
Yeah, because some people get too immersed. And when I think of that, I think of immediately Heath Ledger when he was the Joker. And some actors, they get so much into it so they can express the best parts of the movie and make it, relatable. Make it read
right, yeah. Like you see me, you believe that I am the character.
It really fucks with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's also the beauty to it too.
It is. It's a madness. It's a real madness. That's why it's like I can only imagine what other artists were like back in the days, like back in the days, like the ones that are quote unquote iconic now. Because were they recognized during their time or was it after the fact? And what were they like in real life? Because when you read the stories about any artist, you're like, damn, they lived a crazy. Like no artist is just like a normal everyday person, I guess, quote unquote. Is just I woke up and I'm fucking doing this. It's just their life is like crazy in the way that you're trying to drum up like inspiration to continue to produce art. And there's some weird madness to that. I mean, and that could probably be matriculated to a lot of people in varying degrees, obviously. I mean, yeah, when you think about that, you're just like, how much do you have to put out of yourself? Because you're so vulnerable. And then for people to listen to it and then react. And then how much do you take into people's reactions? Or because you're not supposed to, but you do naturally. And then does that consume you? And then does that ultimately plague you going forward?
And maybe I'm wrong, but the best ones that do take it personally, sometimes I like those ones more because they're being real genuine emotion. To who they are, And I get it. You can't usually. Everybody's going to say whatever they're going to say. Like, a lot of times I see on basketball, there's basketball players like, oh, I don't even listen to that bullshit. You don't.
I know.
You listen to everything Kevin Durant.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You try to act like it doesn't. No, it affects you.
Yeah, you're human.
You're human, right?
Yeah.
And they say you're not supposed to, whatever. I mean, all right, whatever. Like,
yeah, it's hard not to.
It's hard not to. Yeah. I mean, but even the people who say that, I think are BS. Like, I'll listen to I don't like to listen to him that much. But like Stephen A. Smith, I can't stand him anymore. Yeah. Because like he says all these things, but like the moment somebody calls him out and stuff, it's like he gets all defensive. It's like, so wait a minute, you're not even taking the same medicine you're serving, bro. No. Like.
It's all in the name of entertainment for him.
Exactly.
He draws emotion from people. I think that's the one credit I give to him because he says it and he puts it out in a way he says it. Whether he's passionate about it or not, if he isn't, he does a damn good job convincing you that he's passionate about whatever stance he's taking.
But apparently.
Yeah. Let me tell you, like, he gets really into it.
I don't even, like, honestly, like, with everything that was going on with my life and how I'm dealing with stuff, it was like, I don't even deal with him no more. Like, I got to the point where if you don't like something,
just don't listen to it.
Just don't put yourself around it, And then obviously, there's times where you do listen to him because it's like, you're trying to figure out what's going on with something new, and it's like, well, Stephen A. Smith, so I got to listen to him. But majority of the time, I choose not to do that because he drummed up a certain anger or frustration in me
because you
like,
feel like that when he's saying it. You don't know what he's saying. He just have a feeling when you. That's what I feel when he's yelling. I'm just like, I'm not even trying to listen to this right now.
Yeah, because what he does is like,
it's
I
like
feel like
triggering and
his
shit.
whole idea is to try to agitate somebody, but it's so for me it's so like matter of fact, in such a way that he like what he says is best.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of an arrogance to me. Yeah. That's what I think, you know.
And then that's it.
And
it's
that's
like
what, yeah.
end all be all.
And so it's just like I don't even like listen to him because there's so many times he said stuff and he's incorrect, but it's like I don't feel like he admits to his wrongs or anything like that. Like my favorite, if there was a person right now that I watch, well, I actually kind of like skipping Shannon because it's funny. Because
Shannon's hilarious.
Shannon's is hilarious and it's fun to him, right? And he's not disrespectful. No. I mean, the only time he does anything is when he's backing up LeBron James 100% of the time. Yeah. But I also like Jalen Rose's intake.
Oh, Jalen Rose,
because I feel like
Jalen Rose is the best.
Like he's
Jalen
one
Jacoby
of the
pods. That's my shit.
Yeah, Jalen Jacoby. Hell, even when he did the one about the Fab Five, right? And I remember it was a big deal because it came out in 2011. That I think 30 for 30 or whatever it was, and he had said how he didn't like Grant Hill, and he called Grant Hill Uncle Tom and whatever. Yeah. And then I remember Grant Hill got mad. People got mad at Jalen Rose
for saying it. Yeah.
And I was like, why are you mad at him? Like the thing is, he said how he
19-year-old.
Well, he said what he felt at that time.
Yeah. Can't persecute a motherfucker for being 19 years old and looking at a motherfucker like you have everything I don't have.
Yeah, he was like your dad. Like his dad was
Dallas Cowboy.
Well, no, I'm talking about Jalen Rose.
Oh, Jalen Rose,
actually a pro basketball player, but left him in the hood or whatever, right? And he's like, he was everything that I wanted to be. Yeah, you know, family there, blah blah blah, right?
Resentment towards
him. It was a resentment. But when people got mad at him for saying that, I was like, he was speaking his truth at that time. Yeah. He didn't say that's how he felt about him now.
No, exactly.
You know?
But it's funny how people took it and was like, well, you said it, so then that's what you still hate him.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
No, man.
I'm just telling you how it was and he
was
the true feelings.
I feel like he's one of the most honest people.
Oh, yeah, he's dope. I hope that him and fucking Chris Webber get it together, man.
Actually, I'm okay that they don't, personally.
Really?
It's a reflection of Chris Webber to me.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying?
And I was a big Chris Webber. I still am a big Chris Webber. Don't get me wrong. I don't know who's at fault in the way things are seen because I could see how that's difficult for both parties. It just sucks because their legacy is so ill to me. But it kind of plays up to the fact of this was it supposed to be probably from the beginning. So I get it.
But I mean, I don't know them personally.
Yeah,
but from what I see when I see on TV is that Jalen is more honest about who he is and what he thinks, right? Yeah, and he will admit. I mean, he's not gonna say like "f this" or whatever. Nah. He's just gonna say how he feels, right? Yeah. But I don't feel that Chris Webber is honest to himself about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Like in denial.
I think there's a lot of things that he probably had insecurities to.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He messed up the call. He doesn't want to talk about that. You know that he's not clutch when it came down to it in basketball. These are mental things. I mean,
being the number one basketball player since a kid like that, being the number one pick, being all the pressure that he had on him and never to, quote unquote, live up to expectations. I'm pretty sure that kills him to some point. What are you talking about?
Like, I don't know. I think he did live up to expectations.
I think he did like tenfold, but I can't tell him that because that's in his own mind. You know how it is. Yeah. I mean,
because like even now, I was telling somebody else, I was like, everybody looks at the stretch floor, and I'm like, you got to thank Chris Webber for that.
Oh fuck yeah!
He was actually one of the beginning.
If you look at his assists, like throughout his career, he was averaging at least no less than 3-4 assists, and that's at power forward center position.
In a different game, right? But he was like the beginning of the stretch floor. Yeah. Where he was like a 6'9", 6'10" ish power forward. Usually that would have been a center, but how he handled the ball, how he played was different.
He could run the floor, he could pass.
Then a couple of years later, Kevin Garnett comes in, and that's the
takes
one
that shit to the next level.
And then Dirk Nowitzki and stuff like that, right?
When it became a three-point shooter.
But to me, when you look at it, it was really the beginning of that era started with Chris Webber.
Oh, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you're introducing the idea of ball handling to a power forward. Yeah. When every power forward before, I don't want to say right before, because Webber at that time dominating was like a Karl Malone, which didn't have necessarily the handling skills.
It was brute force.
But he was a typical 20 plus 12 boards, like a block, steal. But Chris Webber could grab the board, lead the break, and like dump a pass off.
Yeah,
that was insane to see.
And then take like at least a jumper from the free throw line.
Oh yeah,
it,
yeah, that 15, 16, 17 footer, and as his career elongated, he pushed that even farther back. Yeah.
So like he, but
yeah, Chris Webber.
But there's a lot of pressure too.
Yeah,
but
yeah, for sure, I could see that. I mean, they didn't win a championship. You're talking about the most iconic college basketball group to never win a championship, and they're still iconic.
Yeah,
that's why Jalen Rhodes is like, who lost? Who was the second place runner up to last year's game? Yeah, you don't remember, but yeah, we still remembered because that's who they were.
Well, because they were hip hop.
Fucking, they were
hip hop. I mean, although people usually say look at UNLV before them, I still just remember the Fab Five.
No, I do. Yeah, that's more synonymous, I think, with our generation.
Yeah, because the black socks, the long shorts,
the bald hair,
the bald hair.
Fuck those golden Michigan shorts. I'm still trying to find those bitches.
Dude,
I'm gonna find them.
I remember when we had those though for a while.
I was trying to borrow I was trying to borrow them all the time, especially the yellow ones. Oh,
yeah. But then when he also had the North Carolina shorts,
fucking John, god damn it,
dude,
that homie with all the gear.
Yeah, he held it down with all that stuff.
Him and Mark. They were the same.
Yeah.
Between the sharpshooter.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Right there.
I know, I just saw that movie last week.
I have not. I need to watch it, but I heard it was pretty good. It was all right?
It was like a American love movie and then just replace everybody with a fucking Asian person.
Oh. Well,
I mean, I liked it because it was a lot of Asian people, but there was just some like outlandish shit that didn't need to happen in my opinion.
Needs to have some representation. That's what it was about, right?
It was all right. I wasn't a fan of it. I did watch Uncle Drew. That was a cool one.
Uncle Drew, actually, I liked it. Wasn't good, but I liked it. If that makes it.
I like anything with basketball like that.
Because it had basketball, but it made me feel like.
Yeah. It felt like a little kid for me.
Yeah, I felt like a little kid again, especially when Shaq comes out with his butt hanging out.
Yeah.
It's like, this
dude, how whoever was able to get all those dudes to sign on, that's pretty legit. You're talking about Reggie Miller, Chris Webber, Nate Robinson.
I was going to say, though, Chris Webber did a great job as a preacher.
Oh, yeah, he killed it. Yeah.
When he did the whole, trying to dunk the baby.
Yeah, he was like, it's behind the back. You're like, yo, time out. We trying to dunk a baby?
Yeah, I was like, all right, Chris Webber did a good job on that one, dude.
Yeah, kudos to whoever put that team together.
Nate Robinson had me laughing.
Yeah, Boots. I was like, that's clever. Didn't give him too many lines. He did his game. I was like, I like how they put that together. It's not a prototypical Space Jam per se, but the star power was there, and it was cool because they were all retired.
Yeah.
But then Kyrie was just the youngest dude. Then they just put him in, which is kind of a cool character.
Yeah.
I like. Yeah.
Kevin Love too, right?
Yeah. Oh no, Kevin Love wasn't there.
I thought he was.
I don't think so.
Or no, he was on the He was on the commercials.
Oh, okay.
He was on the Pepsi commercials. Kevin Love was on the Pepsi commercials.
Who do you think is going to be in that Space Jam too? Because that's some 7th grade shit too.
Because
I don't think you could ever replicate that.
I remember actually my aunt at the time. She was working down for the studio and was talking about how they were making this movie with Michael Jordan coming in.
Fuck, that's ill.
But it was like that. I think that movie took like almost 2 years to make. It was like a long time before it even came out.
Shit, they're trying to film that shit during the season and shit.
That soundtrack though.
Oh, hit 'em high,
hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high.
Oh, hit 'em high. And then I believe we can fly, or I believe you can fly.
Yeah, but yeah, now.
I mean, hey, okay, that still song is dope.
Yeah, I know. I used to think that I could.
Motherfuckers play that shit for like inspirational music. Come on now.
Like every night before I try to holler at a girl, I put that song on. I'm like,
if you can see it.
Yeah.
And the Jordan Space Jams came out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like they tried to stop him, but then he somehow dunked from the half court.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because it was a cartoon world, man.
That's what I'm saying.
And that bunny girl though, she was fly.
Hot.
She was hot. That was like the second hottest cartoon next to
Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit. Thank you, dude. Thank you. We all know.
Redhead.
Everybody knows.
Purple gloves.
The hottest cartoon.
We need to do a top 5 like cartoon.
I'd probably put Rogue from X-Men on there.
Oh, Rogue, the cartoon.
The cartoon.
She was super thick too.
Yeah, super thick and thick.
Rogue was nice.
You know, Jessica Rabbit's got to be number 1. I can't. The only other one I can think of was a Cool World, which was I can't think of the actress name.
Oh,
Kim Basinger.
What character was that?
It was Cool World where she was like in between.
Yeah, in between real and cartoon.
Yeah, it wasn't Val Kilmer. It was actually Brad Pitt, right?
Oh, shit.
Movie,
I need to watch that Cool World. Yeah,
that's hella old though, man.
I'll watch that shit. Yeah.
I don't know why I was like, all of a sudden I thought about Dick Tracy, but
there was nothing in there.
No. Madonna was in there.
She's trash.
Did you? I don't know if it's true, but I heard that she had like butt injections or something.
Yeah, have you seen her booty lately?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
I mean, she's trying to stay relevant.
Sometimes it's sad.
It is sad.
Sometimes you gotta let it go. You know.
Yeah, for Madonna, I was like, yo, I was never hot to begin with on that. I was like, ugh.
Nah, for a short time, I would say in like 1992 or something like that. Yeah, she was kind of for me. I was nonsense. Like, yeah,
she trash. Paula Abdul killed it for me personally.
Cold-hearted snake.
Ooh,
look into his eye. Uh-oh, he's been telling lies.
I was like, yo, Paula Abdul.
Yes,
I love Paula Abdul. She was hot.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so fuck, we're at the hour, so we'll cut it. But anyway, what do you got going on this week? Anything surgery-wise, personal? Let's just recap what you got going on for the week.
You know what? Just healing. Trying to heal. Trying to from having surgery, so I can do dialysis better. But other than that, just trying.
How's the dating world? Any hits? Any dates this coming week?
You know what? I actually kind of backed off. Well,
you said no.
I kind of backed off right now because I'm focusing on just getting healthy and trying to figure out what I'm doing. Like
nice.
I started looking at
porn. Different porn.
Yeah, it releases
like horse porn is fucking amazing.
It's crazy. It actually makes me very jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Because they're like that.
They don't even know they have it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that
shit got
big
layers.
dick energy. They don't.
They do got big dick energy.
Yeah, there's
sure.
like this. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But no. For me, it's like I've been actually looking at doing a cruise because I've been into photography lately.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to look at a cruise to go to Alaska.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, 7-day cruise to Alaska.
Nice. That'd be fun.
And they can do dialysis on there. So I wanted to do that because
it's sick.
Because one, we don't know how long we have.
True.
So enjoy it.
Yes.
Reasonably.
Yeah.
But enjoy life and experience things. So, and I'm gonna try to look at that.
When are you gonna plan to do that trip?
Well, you have to figure out all these other surgeries that are going on, but I'm hoping at least July or August.
Nice, man. That'll be fun. That'll be dope, man.
Get it before all the glaciers melt. You know what I'm saying?
Shit. You know how to swim?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's right. You Navy. I'm tripping.
No, but remember, I had a pool in my house too.
Oh, that's right. Only black man that knows how to swim.
I was like, hey.
Do you fuck with boots on too?
Do I fuck with boots on?
Like
yes,
Timberland
I
boots
do.
and shades.
Yeah, like a porn star.
Hat.
Yeah, like a porn
and
star.
elbows
yeah,
and elbow pads.
Yeah, I know.
Full arm sleeve. I was like, what is going on over here?
I do it with a headband and like a Allen Iverson sleeve.
Yo, explain that to me just before we cut this. How does that work? Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure you notice that in porn with dudes. Like, what is it about a black man's feet?
With their feet? Maybe it's because it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, every single fucking black porno star?
What'd you say?
Every single black porn star?
Probably, yeah, because they're probably doing some grimy ass shit.
But you know what I'm talking about, though. When you see the scenes with all the brothers, it's always going to be like some dudes. Everybody got their shoes on.
Socks or shit. Well, first of all, we love shoes. So if they're Jordans, we fuck with Jordans.
I mean, they styling.
We fuck with Jordans.
Just hella accessories.
Yeah, hella accessories, earrings.
The shades on.
I don't know, man.
They're the most stylish motherfuckers when they fucking.
It's so funny because one of the things I remember saying back in 2008, 2009, someone was like, "Why do black people go to the club with Bluetooth on their ears?" Like, you ever notice,
why is that?
Like 40-year-old plus black people still rock like Bluetooth, like
it just came out like last week.
I gotta shit. I gotta go.
Oh, it's all good. We done. We done this podcast. Thank you very much.